Marshall?
Yes, this is Connie Marshall speaking.
Hi, Connie. Hold on. I can barely hear you. I got my volume up. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Connie, this is David Millay. I work with Louisville Gas and Electric. I'm in our customer service corporate security division.
Yes, I tried to call you back and I got your voicemail.
Yeah, I tried running back to my phone and I missed it. I apologize. Connie, the reason I'm calling is I know that at noon you were supposed to come up here to receive some documents from Julie Stetson today.
Correct.
Here's what I was going to request. Your email, or you were requesting of those documents that related to the email that I have to pull it up. That was talking about the power being 140 instead of 120. But you realize there was another email that come from Connie Marshall at justiceforallcitizens.com.
No, she only told me about one.
Yeah, there's another one, and that's the reason that I'm calling. This second email is actually a threatening email where it's personally threatening the life of Mr. Tim Melton, and they are signing it as though they are you. That's, at the bottom it says sincerely Connie Marshall, and it, because of the seriousness of the threats, I was going to try to offer to you that we could email you or send you certified mail copies of this.
Can you send me certified mail copies? Because I've been contacting the FBI regarding all this.
Yeah.
Who
do you think sending this, Connie? Because I'll be honest, this is serious threats. I mean, they're talking about killing somebody.
The Louisville Metro Police Department. And I'll tell you why I know that they're doing it, if you have a minute.
So you think that they've got a hold of your... I'm talking about the email.
The Louisville Metro Police Department. Do you realize I've received 27 death threats slash sexual degradation slash hate mail from them, talking about calling me niggers, telling me they're going to kill me and all this sort of thing. They were telling me that I better plead guilty. I had an incident with them that involved your people a few years back when they came and put a recorder on my house when I told them not to, LG&E. And one of them didn't have an ID. One of your people didn't have an ID. So I went to Louisville Metro Police Department to file a complaint against you all regarding that because they put a recorder on my house and I didn't tell them to. So a lot of stuff began from that. And then as I went to court, because when I went there, they told me I couldn't file the complaint, and I was hustled out of the police department. Then I was told I was going to jail, and I said, for what? And I got in my car. I said, for what? I haven't done anything. And I got in my car and drove off. And next thing you know, I had police after me, and it was on the news, and I went to jail, and I've been fighting this stuff for years. Well, because I wouldn't plead guilty, because it went on for years. I didn't get a speedy trial, none of that stuff. Went on, never had a history of any criminal anything before in my life, But it went on for years. But at any rate, during the trial, I started receiving death threats. And they were telling me I better plead guilty and we're going to kill your family and all this kind of stuff. We put you on the FBI's list. You're going to be stopped everywhere you go. We're going to rape you with a toilet plunge. Just all kinds of crazy stuff in these emails. I received 27 of them. And then on top of that, my cell phone, this is why I don't have a cell phone. My cell phone was taken over. And when people called me on my cell phone, they were getting, my name is Connie, I'm a bitch, and all this sort of thing. And nobody has the power to do that. Then I started getting telephone calls asking for Judge Delahanty, saying that he ordered at my house. Yeah, Judge Delahanty was the judge on the case.
And that's who they were saying they were, or they were being addressed to that person?
No, these were coming from legitimate companies calling my number.
Okay.
Asking.
How do you pronounce? How do you spell that last name?
Delahanty.
Hanty. Okay.
He was the judge on the case. And then I found out that a fabricated document, it's been 4 placed in my cases. I found out a fabricated document was placed in my case. And the document stated, we, the neighbors of 23rd Street, which is where I live, of course, Miss Marshall has been running up and down the street, spitting on cars and all this kind of stuff. They were trying to make me sound like I was a crazy person or something. I gave a copy of it was a letter that was given to the court. I gave a copy to everybody on my block up and down. They didn't send that letter. The letter had a fax number from the Jefferson County Attorney's Office, which means they sent it to themselves. So that happened. Then in my lawsuit that I filed against the Louisville Metro Police over in the court, the federal district court, Judge Hale received a fax, and the fax accused him of taking bribes and all these kinds of things, and it had my name signed on the fax. But of course, it was a traced signature. It couldn't have been my signature. I didn't sign it. Plus, I had already filed my paperwork in the case. And plus, you don't fax pleadings to the court in the first place, and it wasn't set up right. So I had to defend that. Then in the court of Judge Minton, where I appealed the criminal case, in that court, 2 fabricated documents were filed. One was faxed to his office with my signature on it, and then the other one was mailed from supposedly New York, but it couldn't have been from New York. But the envelope, because they sent me a copy of the envelope, was from New York, and it said, I think that I'm being controlled by aliens and all this kind of crazy stuff. And it had my signature on it, which I had already filed my paperwork in the case. So this has been going on for a while. Then I received telephone calls from Papa John's, places like that, calling me bitches and cursing me out, but they're talking about the case, and they're mentioning a man's name by the name of Daniel Cobble, who helped me with some paperwork, which the police know. Then I received a call from my daughter's number out of town. She lives in North Carolina, South Carolina, one of them. I think it's North Carolina. I received a telephone call from her number, and they were singing a Tina Turner song, Private Dancer. Well, I was a Tina Turner singer like 10, 15 years ago. I don't go around even talking about that. Then I received an email saying, you're an ex-census worker. Yes, I used to work at the Census Bureau. That's been many years ago. Then one of them said, you was born in 1951, bitch, you're getting kind of old, aren't you? And then I had a guy come to my house, talking about I contacted him on Craigslist for a date. I've got it all posted. He said, because I keep my recorder handy. He said, you contacted me for a date on Craigslist. I said, no, I did not. Well, then I got an email from the police. Bitch, we sent him there next time he's coming in. A lot of things they say in the emails are very personal, that only somebody would know that's listening to my phone calls, knows about the case, those types of things. And in the beginning, they kept telling me I better plead guilty. I better plead guilty. I never did. So this has been going on and on and on. I have received over 80 or 90 pieces of mail in the name of Elizabeth Fields, one of the prosecutors that...
Yeah, I think that's the name of the email that you were requesting back. Elizabeth Fields, I think, is who claimed to be your daughter. Hang on a second.
Yeah, that's who it is, because she told me. It's Elizabeth Fields.
Okay, Julie told you that?
She told me, and I don't doubt it, because I've got like almost 90 pieces of mail in the name of Elizabeth Fields coming to my house with my address. And Elizabeth Fields is the prosecutor that was involved in putting a fabricated document in my case. I received telephone calls asking for Elizabeth Fields. I received a place called Vision First, contacted me and said pretty much the same thing you're telling me. They said, Vision First said, well, your daughter sent us an email and said that she wanted to make an appointment to come to Vision First. I said, my daughters live out of town. I said, who is it? She said, Elizabeth Fields. I said, it's no Elizabeth Fields here. So this is just a smear campaign by the Louisville Metro Police Department. I have no enemies except for them. I got stomped and everything by them when I went down there to report you all. I got stomped. I had a compressed vertebrae, mildly enlarged heart, and a chest contusion. All of that, And all this started with them, and it has not ended, because I've contacted IACHR, USDOJ. They gave me 2 reference numbers to contact the FBI, but I haven't received any assistance from the FBI. Now, Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, they gave me a case number, but I'm trying to get precautionary measures, which means you get protection, because I've been followed. I had a man follow me down the street, which I didn't have my camera with me at the time. It's been 2 of them, actually, that I've noticed. I'm sure it's been more. He followed me, then he stopped in the middle of the street at a green light and just sit there. I pulled over to make sure. I said, well, let me see if he's really following me. So I pulled over, and he just stopped in the middle of the street. So I got out of the car like I was going to one of the apartments on 22nd Street, and I got his license number, and he sit there, and then he pulled off. So then when I started driving again, he was on me again, And I reported that to the FBI, but it's been going on and on and on. So
let me ask you a couple of things, Connie. This did Julie, and obviously what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to send the certified mail. It'll have both emails. It'll have the first one, which is the one that Julie described to you, and it looks like, here's what it says. Hello, this is Elizabeth Fields, Connie Marshall's daughter. I had an electrician out today at my mother's house, 1814 South 23rd Street, who tested her outlets in her living room and bedroom, and they are reading 140 volts. They're supposed to read only 120. She is blowing a lot of light bulbs lately. An electrician said it's because it seems to be too much power coming in through the line, and that I should have LG&E come out and fix it. So that is, Connie, the reason that LG&E went out there this weekend, was because they had this request. And it says the email came in from Connie Marshall at justiceforallcitizens.com. Well, I say that. That's showing the email listed. So obviously Elizabeth Fields is obviously not your daughter.
No, she's one of the prosecutors on the case.
You didn't have one, and no one send you that request in. Am I correct?
No, nobody sent that. My daughters live in North or South Carolina. I get them mixed up. But my daughters live out of town, both of them. So no.
Okay.
And I haven't had any problem as far as that's concerned. I've had many, 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 many problems. But that particular night, I wasn't even thinking about any problems with LG&E because I went out that night. So I was still asleep at 7 o'clock. And I heard this.
The other email is far more disturbing. And if you want me to, I'll read it to you.
Yes, I do. When did you get that one?
What happened was it was sent to Tim Melton, who works with Julie. It was sent Saturday at 2:45 p.m., but it got hung up in his, like a spam filter, and he didn't get it until this morning when he came to work. But here's what it says, Ms. Marshall. It says, Mr. Melton, this email is to put you on notice that I am done playing your games. I do have a gun in my possession, and as an American, I have the right to defend myself against your attacks and those by the LMPD. I know and have proof that you are working with LMPD to terrorize and attack me. You are aiding and abetting the police in targeting me. This is a matter of life or death for me. I provided you evidence of me being electrocuted, being zapped as if I was in an electric chair in my own living room, and being knocked out as electrical arcs fly around the room. If you do not cease and desist, I will kill you and anyone else that is attacking me or assaulting me. This is self-defense and is not an act of aggression because of the indisputable proof I have of the attacks. I will find you and kill you, and then we'll see whether these attacks continue against me. I am completely within my rights to do this. I am done being your guinea pig. Let's see how you like being attacked when there's a bullet in your head. This is your final warning. Govern yourself accordingly.
Wow. If I were you, I would contact the FBI and just let them know that I said I didn't send those, because I have contacted them over and over and over again. As I stated, the U.S. DOJ gave me 2 reference numbers. Maybe they'll listen to you more than they'll listen to me.
Okay. All right. So maybe does anyone else have access, Connie, to your email account?
Well, they sent me an email. I have 3 email accounts, 3 or 4. But they sent me an email. I'm talking about the Louisville Metro Police Department, and how I know it's them is because they know everything I'm doing. I'll give you an example. Well, in one of the emails, they told me that we're in your computer, we're in your telephone, we're in everything. In other words, they're in all of my contact sources, is what they told me.
No, I understand that. Well, let me ask you this. Obviously, I'm going to get with Julie to send that email, that threatening, which I'm writing down that you said you didn't send it. But I want you to contact the FBI, because I'm going to contact them when I get off the phone, because they need to do something about this. It's been over and over again that all this is happening, and they're just sitting there not doing anything. So like I said, maybe if it comes from you all, maybe they'll do something. But I do want to get copies. Yeah, but what I'm saying, in terms of the copies, I hope you understand this, Connie, that because of the serious threats that are in it, obviously I get that you're saying you didn't send it, But please understand, that's why we want to send this by mail to you.
That's fine. I don't have a
To
problem
me
with
in
it.
person, because they are serious threats. And if someone's doing this against you, that's terrible that someone would target you like that.
Well, they threatened. Well, they didn't threaten the judge. I'm talking about a federal judge, Judge Hale. They, like I said, they sent a fax to him. The fax came from all zeros, and because I have a copy of that, and it
They were
stated.
claiming to be you on that one?
Yes, they sure were, and they said he's been taking bribes and some other stuff about him. And what's interesting to me is that all these judges, they know I didn't send any of this paperwork, and I've asked them, why don't you do an investigation? Not one judge has asked for an investigation, which lets me know somebody knows who's doing this. Because, like I said, there was one filed in the district court case when I sued the Louisville Metro Police and the judge and all of that over in federal court. There was one filed over there. When I appealed the district court case to the the Kentucky Court of Appeals, and then to the Kentucky Supreme Court, 2 went to the Kentucky Supreme Court. Now, if you have a lot of fabricated documents filed in a case, and I'm telling you I didn't send them, and one is accusing the judge of bribes, why don't you get an investigation?
Right.
That's strange in itself.
No, I understand that. I completely understand that.
And plus,
was that recent, or has that been a while for it?
That's been recent in the past, probably the past year and a half, year and a half, somewhere around in that. And I filed all 4 of them in my United States Court of Appeals case. I sent them copies of all of them, and nothing was done by them, which I am very angry about all the judges, because they've got to know who's doing it. And the only thing that tells me that there are officials that are doing this. I don't know anybody that has resources to, they call it spoofing, is what the FBI told me, to spoof emails. I don't know anybody that has that kind of resources. Plus, I don't have enemies like that do things like that.
No, that is a real thing, though, Connie. They can do both phone numbers and email address, and that spoofing, and that happens a lot. But someone would be definitely targeting you to send this. You see what I'm saying? But, I mean, it does exist.
But I'm telling you, it's the Louisville Metro Police Department. I'm not saying all of them. You got good police, you got bad police. But when I went down to the district court, and I dropped something in night deposit, okay? This is going to let you know for sure. I dropped some paperwork in the night deposit box. This has been a while back. Well, as soon as I got home, and this is on my website, on my home page, you'll see all the phone calls I received. As soon as I dropped something in the night deposit box, because I fired my attorney because he wanted me to plead guilty and go along with him and all of that. Well, as soon as I dropped something in the night deposit box, and this guy had helped me on the phone with it, no sooner than I walked in my door about 15 minutes after 9, I had a call. This is so-and-so. And I said, who is this? I said, Daniel Cobble. You heard what I said, bitch. Did you get those papers filed? Well, I just filed papers, and Daniel Cobble helped me with the papers. And it came from his number, but it wasn't him. Then I get another call. This went on all night long, and that was the one that came in singing Private Dancer. It was coming from my daughter's number from out of town, calling me bitches and singing Private Dancer. Then another call comes in. This went on all night. Then the next morning, and like I said, it's on my homepage of my website, www.justiceforallcitizens.com. Just scroll down, you'll see all those calls that came in after I filed papers regarding the police. I just walked in the house. Then the next morning, my daughter called me. She said, Mama, she said, have you checked your voicemail message? She said, because I called you and some man's on your phone saying, this is Connie, I'm a bitch, and all this kind of stuff. That's why I don't have a cell phone right today. They took over my cell phone. So it's definitely the police that are doing it. And me and a girlfriend of mine, we were talking on the phone. I said, well, in the olden days, in the slavery days, they used to hang black men and put their penises in their mouth. Well, then I get an email that says, excuse my language, it says, we're going to kill you and put your clit in your mouth. That's how they talk to me in the emails. Then I was talking about the toilet. I was plunging the toilet, one day. Then I get another email. We're going to rape you with a toilet plunger. So they know everything I do in my house. I don't know if cameras in my house or how, but it's the police, definitely the police.
Well, I'm sorry that you. I hope you understand, though, Connie, that because of things like this, that if can you write down my phone number?
I have your phone number written down.
Yeah. If you have, I mean, obviously, we still can. I can work with Julie and Tim with other issues. But if we ever have any issues with LG&E, if you would please call me at that number. Now, if I don't get it, I'm sometimes out in the field and not around.
Okay.
But here's what obviously, I want you to understand that the reason that we don't want you to come in today is because of that letter that I just read to you.
And you call the FBI, I want you to. I want you to call them. Maybe they'll do something,
Well, you realize if we did, that they would probably come out to speak to you.
I want them to.
I understand.
I want them to.
Okay. I don't know that the FBI would come if I called, but we can certainly look into it.
Yeah, and let them know that I told you that I did not send those, but I want them to come out here and, I do want to talk to them because it's been going on over and over and over again, and I have filed numerous complaints with them, and nothing is done. And like I said, I filed with USDOJ regarding this stuff. They gave me 2 reference numbers. I haven't heard from the FBI. Every time I call, they take the information and say, well, somebody will get back with you. If we need to get back with you, we'll get back with you. Nobody ever does. And I'm sitting here right now, like I said, with 27 death threats, sexual degradation / hate mail. I get calls all the time calling me niggers and bitches and stuff. That's regular, routine around here.
I'm sorry you receive those things, Connie. Well, you can see just as alarming as this that we certainly understand it.
Right, and I'm getting ready to call the FBI right now, and I'm going to give them your name so they can contact you, and you need to call them also because I want this stuff to come to an end. I'm fed up with it.
All right, well, keep in mind, remember, if I call them, they may not do, they may just say, screw you, they may not do anything I ask them to. Please understand that. Your daughter sent in, as well as the email from the account claiming to be you to Tim, okay?
Okay, I don't think Elizabeth Field's doing it. Like I told you, the police are doing it. I have plenty of evidence.
No, I get you.
Okay.
No, what I'm saying is it claims the person sending the email making the request is claiming to be Elizabeth Field's Connie's daughter is how they're saying it.
Okay.
I'm not saying that Elizabeth sent it. I'm saying how they represented themselves. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to call the FBI right now, and I'll be looking for that mail to come in the mail.
Yeah, so you know that the appointment with Julie is canceled. You get that?
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So when will I get that paperwork?
As soon as I get done here, I'm going to try to get to the post office, which is just a couple blocks away, and try to get this to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.